Good afternoon, all the attendees. I hope I am well audible to you. Very warm welcome to all the attendees of this session, and it's now time to introduce the speakers of the day. We have with us Dr. Harpal Theti, Professor and Senior Dean, Division of Career Services, Lovely Professional University. He's a recipient of 101 Most Fabulous Training and Development Leader and Most Admirable Placement Heads in the country. A passionate educationist, digital native, researcher, and academic thought leader in the field of higher education. He has contributed immensely in almost all the verticals like governance, strategic planning, FDPs, university accreditations. He has been recognized as a senior IEEE member as well. He has been an integral part of the team, instrumental in developing the Unified Technology Learning Platform under the Mission 10X program at Wipro Technologies. In his current profile, he has been instrumental in elevating the visibility of brand LPU amongst the corporate world. Testimony of the same is an overall 10 times increase in the corporate hirings, future leaders from LPU. Exponential rise in the addition of pedigree and marquee brands, elevation of average, mean, median, and the highest packages offered to students across 30+ schools and 200+ courses. Also, sharp rise in inking the niche corporate MOUs and industry-backed courses. I welcome you, sir. We also have with us the wisdom from the industry in the form of Mr. Joshua David, MD, India Campus Lead, Emphasis. He is a recipient of Young HR Achievers in India Award 2019, an experienced recruitment manager who thrives on creating order out of chaos. He is energized by wicked challenges and comfortable with the ambiguity. He keeps his team on track and has a knack of identifying blind spots and finding elegant solutions to unforeseen problems. His job is to execute end-to-end hiring process with the right recruitment metrics in place, getting market intelligence on time, networking, interviewing and salary closures, and hand-holding till the candidates join them. In his current profile, he is responsible for hiring across skills and personally take this opportunity in exploring various technologies in IT sector. His specializations are in marketing strategy, client interaction, networking, interview skills, analysis, salary negotiations, innovative hiring, headhunting, and campus and university relations. I welcome you, sir, as well.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We also have with us Ms. Rachna Bajaj, Senior Assistant in LPU. She'll be talking about a little bit of infrastructure. She'll be talking about saving the money in the form of scholarships, and we'll be interacting with her as well. It's now over to Dr. Harpal Theti to start for the content of the day. Over to you, sir. Sir, yeah.
I think you've set the context so well. So we'll have to live up to that expectation which you have just built up for both of us now. So we'll try to do justice to whatever you have just said, sir. So a warm welcome to all the attendees wherever you are joining us from. I hope that you are keeping safe, all of you are doing good, your family members are doing good, and you are staying excited to listen to what we are trying to bring forth to you. Correct. So I will start with this. So I think both of you have been introduced. Now this is a flow of the entire deliberation today, which we are going to do. So I think
Dr. Harpal, I would like to intervene. You need to show your screen. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah.
Okay now?
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm sure that next 20 minutes are going to be really exciting for each one of you, because we are going to take you towards a journey. And we have taken a lot of young kids like you into this journey earlier. and I'm sure that I will be able to do justice to your time and your faith in us today. Now, I will not shy away from introducing Joshua, who is a great friend of mine, in my own way. And for that to happen, I'll have to take you back to the time. So let me talk about 1990s, the early 90s, when we were all growing up. So this was a time when the fancy IT industry of India was just starting up. People were actually skeptically looking at the new industry, which brings forth a different way of life, I'll say, because no, they will actually teach you how to use cutleries, how to place your cutleries, what you have to speak, what not. So people are thinking, yeah, we have to work in a corporate. Why is this expected from all of us? Now, I mean, both of us. So we were able to join this journey together. I represent academia, and my friend Joshua represents the corporate world, which is basically the beneficiary of what we are trying to produce as an academicians, no, because they are going to consume everything. So I'll tell you that he started his journey from an assessment partner, and then he joined a company which was far across near the sea in Chennai, and it was Cognizant. Let me tell you this. So and then he started, and nobody knew when Cognizant started. Now it's going to be this big, and then this is what it'll turn up to. Much like the IT cycle which I just talked about. So yes, so we have all scaled up our vision. We have all scaled up. We have all grown with the companies we have worked with. So to tell his journey, so he has worked with the best of the services, IT services industry in the country and nationally now. So he started his journey per se with the maximum stay at Cognizant, then moved to a short stint at Hexaware, and then now today he's rocking at Emphasis. So a formal welcome to my friend Joshua ji here. Joshua ji, thank you so much for keeping our request and then joining us on a short notice.
No,
I really are with you, sir.
thank you so much, Harpaji. Thank you so much for the invite as such.
Yes, so we'll ask all the difficult questions. And I am going to be the devil's lead here, and I'm going to ask you all the difficult questions on behalf of students who are listening to this deliberation today. So my first question to you, Joshua ji, is this. So we all are cognizant of the fact that the hiring landscape has changed in the IT industry, both on the services side as well as the side. So if you can put some more light into it as to how the industry product has changed, and what is expected from young folks like these who are listening to us today.
Okay, a nice evening, LPUans. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Rishi sir, Harpal sir, and the person who are also part of this, and all bright minds of LPU. Namaskar, namaste, vanakkam. Okay, so one day I got a call from one of the biggest colleges, one of the biggest, and he asked Joshua, what is happening today in the IT market? So he started with this question. I saw what happened, sir. He was telling Joshua from a location per se, from a Pune or from a Mumbai or from a Bangalore or from Chennai. I get a call, maybe a 10 or 20 companies may call to hire my students. I have a strength of 600 to be placed, and I know all the 600 get placed in a couple of months time frame. Now today, the same location from Pune or from Chennai or from Bangalore, I'm getting 100-fold, not 20, 200 companies are calling me for freshers. So I think I gave you the answer. The entire landscape of freshers hiring has literally changed. Why? Is because lateral hiring has got a hit. I mean, lateral hiring is nothing but the the experienced folks from the market has really hit. So we as an organization are looking at bright minds who can really cope up with what we are. And the most important factor is you are really elegant enough in terms of getting into the other sector of the sectors. Either it can be service or product or you name it, their people wanted freshers or startups as such. One of the interviews when I had a couple of weeks back from an NIT guy, he was just talking about, sir, I have an offer for this, but your offer is this. Where do I join? I just told him, beta, wherever you feel there is a learning, wherever you feel there is a growth, just join there. Brand is just a brand, but what is the learning, what is your growth is going to make a lot of difference. So my dear friends who are part of this forum, understand one thing. Money comes at any point in time. Learning and the learning agility should continue. As you heard from my good friend Harpal, we've been with close to more than a decade, and we share most of the experiences together. And I've been to Lovely most of the time. I've always spoken to students about how, as an individual, you're going to see your growth and your learning, right? Because till another decade, freshers world is going to flourish, and we all corporates are just waiting for all the bright minds to join us. So just relax, just enjoy this journey of your engineering. And I think you will get a better opportunity in this landscape called IT or services or product or hospitality, anywhere you wanted to build your career. And you have a better career which is kept in front of you.
Thank you so much for that response, sir. Let me put your inputs here. So, which means that next half a decade, or I can say next decade, belongs to young folks like these who are listening to this deliberation today.
Absolutely, there's no second thought about it at all.
Great. So for the listeners, let me tell you that there is something called to be as a pyramid structure in hiring. So whenever there are challenging times or exciting times, the bottom of the pyramid gets the maximum advantage, which means that the freshers, so those who are going to join maybe the corporate world in times to come, they'll be the beneficiary of this. So with your permission, sir, let me go to the next question now.
Yes, please.
So this is a very interesting question, sir. So this question talks about vanilla courses like the basic CSE or the basic IT or the basic EC, EEE, basic mechanical for that matter as well. Are they sufficient to get a meaningful job today? Let's also talk about beyond then getting a job. Does it also make a meaningful career out of that job, sir?
Beautiful question. Again, I need to go back to my earlier stint of whatever you call it as the cognizance of the world. I'm not talking from emphasis, my friends. I represent emphasis today, but I need to share all my experience through this forum. So that's what the intention, and that's what I just told Harpal Ji also. It doesn't mean you are from a CSE or an IT or a EEE or a core or whatever. What do an agriculture or what do a high voltage MTech guy going to do with an IT friend, right? All these organizations hire people from this background. The only thing what we look at is the attitude of the person. How does he is going to learn from his academics 4 years, and then the way forward of his career from the day one he joins any organization to be called as. Right. So my humble request, don't think I'm from a CSE, I'm from an IT, because whenever I talk to students in various college forums, most of them are, sir, I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm a civil engineer. Can I get into IT? My question is why? You have put your heart and soul, your parents have spent this 4 years in terms of taking your mechanical or a civil engineering. Go to that industry. You will get a better career. Let me tell you that very, very clearly. It is not that the IT folks, my dear friends, don't underestimate that these are all vanilla, whatever you call it. Today, people are talking about cybersecurity as an elective, AI, machine learning, and so on and so forth. Every industry has their own growth, their own careers. Okay. Classical example, in 2008 and 9, what happened? The entire world got into recession. And obviously, IT in India also got into that. Most of the people were started studying arts and science at that point in time, but very few took the right decision of joining engineering colleges, even though it is a recession year. You will not believe 2011 and 12, most of the top tier Twitch companies, your TCS, Cognizant, Infosys, Wipro, all created history in hiring freshers. So my dear friends, no year is a bad year and no student is a rejected one. If you have the right attitude, right learning curve, I think you will rule the world, because engineers are creators. When I read one of the holdings in one of the colleges, when I went to a Bhopal college, Harpalji knows that college, scientists only study what is there, but engineers create what scientists have to study. So my dear friends, CSE or cybersecurity, no difference. You have a career when you have the right attitude and the learning agility.
Yeah, which means that student has to accept being a student all through their life, which means that if they know as to what is required today and tomorrow, there's no dearth of jobs.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad that you actually expanded this entire question to core engineering and way beyond that as well. So if somebody's thinking of taking admission courses which is beyond this also, let me tell you that we are up for exciting times. I'll
Absolutely, sir.
share some
Absolutely.
stories. Yeah. I'll share some stories after our conversation with Joshua sir as well. So this brings me to the next question, sir. This talks about the extra effort which a student has to put in. So this talks about the extra certifications. This talks about the hackathons, the mechathons of the world. This talks about making a great resume for yourself by participating into various co-curricular, extracurricular activities. Do you think that these all things will help them get a better job and make a better career for themselves?
Okay. When you go to kitchen, your mom makes good food. Everything is done at the end of the day. When you don't put the salt required for the food, I don't think so. People will eat, right? The salt I mentioned is the academics. The salt I mentioned here is the technology, the think out of the box knowledge, your library sessions, your extracurricular activities, the blogs, what you write, your certifications, the value added services, right? Whenever an Airtel or a Vodafone guy, Geo guy calls us, sir, he just tells, sir, there is a value added services which is attached to your services, right? So, my dear friends, it is not that you should avoid this, but overdoing is not recommended. Today I got a profile from RCHRO. I just opened that resume. 18 certifications. Seriously, not needed. All right. So at the end of the day, you are from a computer science department, you're from a mechanical, you're from a triple E. Please understand that you get one or two certification because somebody is going to give you for free, or you have more money. Though it doesn't mean that you need to invest your energy, invest your time in those aspects. Having said, I also spoke to Alphalji some time back. This 2 years, the knowledge which the students have acquired is more than what they needed. Whenever I go to colleges, most of the people crib about the students is most of the chairmen, HODs, and principals say, sir, today we have a boundary for people to learn. And for all these 2 years, people did not have the boundary to learn. I'm not telling this is right, this is wrong. My piece of advice to all the people, listeners, are like have something into the box. Okay, I'm going to do certification. Yes, one or two. Am I going to tell when the interviewer is going to ask? Right. Second thing, you're going to prepare a resume. A resume, I always say it in my own formula. A question paper prepared for somebody else to question you. Right? A question paper prepared by you to somebody else to question you. So that is a resume you're preparing. So be very careful in terms of adding that extra bit of knowledge to that question paper because he is going to or she is going to ask you questions related to that. So anything extra is good when you know that extra bit. Yes, sir.
So thank you so much for bringing this through. So I'll take this ahead, and what sir is trying to say at this point in time is that each student should work on a T learning model. So a T learning model means you should keep learning new tricks, but you should go very deep in some of the 2, 3, 4 tricks, such that no, if somebody asks you very detailed question, you should be able to answer that. So that's what sir wanted to say, that you keep adding new skills, but then you keep updating your skills which you have learned, and then try and master a couple of them. Which then brings me to the next question. A very interesting question. So I thought this has to be brought forth to the students, because no, sometimes students tend to have split personalities across maybe their Facebook and the Instagrams and maybe a LinkedIn, which is a very professional network to connect with people. To you, sir, do you feel that having a good and a stable social footprint is super critical? And the next question, which is coupled with this, is that do you think that companies today look at these social footprints as well when they're going to hire somebody maybe for some niche role?
Couple of months back, I just read a beautiful article on digital footprint written by one of the uh, good friend of mine, one of the placement officers. So I just got to know, oh my God, there is a lot to do. What if, my friends, there is another pandemic or another fourth wave, which the entire world is talking about today, and there is no Joshua Davids or anybody else is going to come to your college, and it's only going to be a virtual drive. And if there is just 100 or 200 people is only going to be picked from each colleges? I'm just telling, what if that is not going to happen? But if a situation comes, LPU, only 100 people will be recruited. So what is that you're going to do? My point is, social digital footprint will be the first and the foremost point, I would say. Okay. How are we? Yes, today everybody there in LinkedIn, for what? And what are we doing with that? Right? You can probably say, sir, I'm in Facebook, I'm in Twitter, and for what? Right? How many blogs have you written? How many people you have been continuously interacting? For example, how many of you really know your core companies and core company HRs in LinkedIn? How many of you really connected? I'm just giving an example. Again, I'm telling you, this is not a right or a wrong answer, but I'm just telling you, what is the extra value addition you done in your curriculum apart from your studies? So my humble request is, you present yourself in a way that people see your profiling. It is not that I need to do big. No, even smaller make a difference out of it. The social networking is most important. That's what I just told you. How far an employer is going to, because let me tell you, two people are very equal in the interview process. And if the interviewer asks 5 minutes, is because he's going to see in the digital platform A and B, what A has done and what B has done. And based on that, the hiring is going to go forward. That is a way forward, my friends. So my request is, social footprint, the digital footprint in most of the areas is the foremost, and that is the way forward. And today people are not even talking about your paper resumes. They're talking about video resumes, gaming in it, right? I'll just give you an example. So please put your thought process and think how different I can be as a person. You please have a story for you, who I am as a person. That will take you a long process, long way in your career, my friends. Me or Harpalji today, we are, because we have put small improvements. We have not bigger parts, small things which has given a bigger difference in our life.
Thank you, Joshua, for bringing this point, because I've been very vocal about the fact that somebody's story only, which means that the definition of success for each one of us is a little different. Which means that a resume cannot be a copy paste of a Google document. No, it has to be curated over a period of time. So thank you so much for bringing this point in, sir. Which brings me to the next question, which is very interesting question actually. So National Education Policy 2020 talks about the importance of internship and about colleges and universities making a pathway for at least 6 months internship. The way LPU is really unique is that we've kind of mastered this art of 1 year internship. Yes, you have heard it correct. 1 year internship during your 5 year of program, or whatever program you're going to choose at LPU. We'll put you at internships, because the idea is that you should be able to understand the right set of problem statements. You should work with the right set of tools. You should be working with the right set of people, with people who have traveled this path ahead to you, and that's how you are able to understand as to what that role that company brings into you. On the company side, this will actually talk about reducing the attrition ratio issues and understanding the resources even before they join in. So the question to you, my dear friend, is, do you feel that this 1 year internship program is good? If yes, if you can add some points here, sir.
I think we've deliberated in most of the forums, sir. I think one of the unique programs in India, and I think most of the IT companies would love to do is because of the attrition era, which I may talk about it. Because today we are losing most of the people, top layers, creamy layers, if you say so. I think these internships give the right set of people to the organization. They will know the culture. even before they join. And there are companies today also take LPUs or other colleges, also make them an employee during the internship as well. So that gives the ownership of any student that I should stay in this organization. Tell me something, when we offer a person and we don't give the offer letter, but we take them be in part of the internship, how many people stay or how many people join? Very handful, right? But this model is really a top one, the first thing. And second thing is, I don't think so any student will look out for an opportunity because he has already become the DNA of the organization. Because 1 year is not a joke, and the learning process and the leadership style he has learned from the organization will definitely drive him to work for the organization for a long time, and that will definitely make a lot of difference in the candidate and with the organization which he's working for. So I'm always game for this 1 year internship, sir, and I think we should take this forward as well. And I'm also talking to my management how far we can also cope up with the selected students of LPU and take them to the next level. So we would have more deliberations on this from 2023 financial year as well.
Thank you so much for bringing this in, sir. I'll talk about more about this 1 year internship program after this deliberation with the attendees here. Which brings me to the penultimate question here, which talks about the curriculum, because there are universities, there are cases where they change their curriculum for the choice of the words, and they take a lot of time to actually update their curriculum. Now, you have been cognizant of the fact that we have been changing our curriculum very rapidly depending upon the inputs of learned people like you, sir. So do you feel that curriculum plays a very important role? And what is your take on the curriculum and your association with us, sir, over a period of last 1 decade, sir?
For the 2 months, thanks to the, I'll not say end of COVID, but we had the breathing space of attending NAC accreditations, NBA certifications with most of the colleges, NRF ranking and other stuff. So most of the academicians was talking about, Joshua, how are you really managing the workforce and the technology change today? So I was quoting few examples of colleges like us in terms of telling there are a few colleges where they inculcate the respective technologies then and there. They don't wait for the competitors, they don't wait for the industry to bring in. They even foresee what is going to happen in next few years, and they put that curriculum. One college is LPU, Lovely Professional University. So I'm really proud that we are associated with the academicians like you folks for the past decade. And I think you're doing a great job. And whenever I talk to my folks, I always talk about how this college has really transformed from the day one I've seen until now on various changes, and irrespective of bringing in the latest technologies to the curriculum, to bringing in them to the electives, so that students get that benefit out when they come. Because today there are a lot of certifications available. Why does a student need to do a certification when he can learn that during the college time frame, right? That is the bottom line. That is what we're all paid for, right, at the end of the day. So I think you're doing a phenomenal job, sir. It is not that I'm part of this program. I'm talking this from my bottom of my heart. And I think we have a long way to go, and we will definitely achieve as an organization, as a industry academia partners. And yes, there are a lot of technologies is going to rule. And I think for our students, it will be a cakewalk before we are already inculcated those technologies into our electives and we are taking into the organization. So that's the reason today we don't have people to give it to the industry when we have requirements, right? Because all of them are placed already and we don't have any people to. So that's always the give and take policy, and that's always a win-win situation in any curriculum as such.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll talk about more about curriculum for the attendees after this session, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We'll move to the last question. I'll not say it's a question. I'll say that if you can open up your heart and then advise these young kids, saying that how do they go about themselves, and on top of it, how do they go about choosing the right college or the university where they're going to subsequently spend 4 years of time or 2 years of time and then making a career for themselves. So that's the last question which I have at this forum for you, sir.
For this question, you always talk from the bottom of my heart because families, parents spend their 4 years spending their hard money earning their hard money spent on their kids. So it's very essential that you join the right set of colleges. So, hey, guys, this is not an advice. Harpalji, this is not an advice. This is just a friendly talk to all the participants here. So my humble request is, there are 20,000 colleges in India, right? How about you picking the right one is always a billion-dollar question. But how do you pick is, I always say in a very, very strong manner, colleges is not a placement factory. It is a knowledge-driven place. Okay, it is a knowledge sharing place. Everything learned from it. The placements is a byproduct. So please don't mistake me. I am very ruthless in terms of telling the truth. Okay, I mean, I may be a very good HR guy, but when truth has to be told, it has to be told, right? So whenever I go to colleges, whenever I go to the day one admissions, whenever I go to, you select the right set of college and the right program. You put your heart and soul to the program. My dear friends, let me tell you, you will get the job. Classical example is sitting in front of you, that is me and Harpalji. We have done the right process at the right time. Okay, nobody handholded us. Nobody in this world, I am telling you in this open forum, nobody has told, okay, we will lift you, you can walk. No, we have fallen 100 times, but when we get up in a different manner altogether. Okay, so my dear friends, let me tell you one thing very clearly. Check the right process, check the right college, and obviously you are in the right place to learn the right academic. Right? That is most important thing. And three things. First, because sir told, let's take another 2 minutes. One is, be very clear on where you study and what you study. Academics plays a very, very major role. Okay. Whenever I go to college, I ask them a very, very important and first question is, in your 4 years, you have studied 40 subjects, 40 in your 8th semester. Can somebody name all the 40 subject names? I know this is a very disastrous question, but very simple question. If you are able to answer all the 40 subjects, I think you rule the world. You will. Second most important thing, how is today's technology being part and parcel of your academics? Okay, make sure that is going in hand in whatever you're studying. Third most important thing is, yes, today English as a language, Hindi as a language, and there are a lot of languages. How a foreign language would make a differentiator. You study a Japanese language, you study a French, you study a German, a Spanish, or a Mandarin, or a Singaporean. My dear friends, in my previous organization, I was handling an APAC recruitment. Recruitment for ANZ, Australia, New Zealand, Chinese, Japanese, Philippines, Singapore. But the pain point is, I was not able to hire anybody because we did not have a bilingual skills in India. My dear friends, if you are able to do that, you will rock the show. That's what I just told you. Harpalji also tells the same thing. Small things in your life makes a lot of difference and you grow up heights. So I wish all the people, all the participants, all the best. Thank you so much, Harpal sir, for bringing me. It is not a short notice. Even at 3 o'clock, if you ask me, Joshua sir, 4 o'clock, you need to talk to LPU, I will do it because I love LPU so much. And thank you so much for all the respect. And the respect, it's mutual. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm happy. Or rather than just leaving this forward.
Yeah, we can quickly do that. Rishiji, if we can bring 2-3 questions which the students have to do. So before that, it's my duty actually to thank Joshua. I know how tight calendar he's having because the phase of deciding colleges, sequence of colleges is right now going on for the batch which is going to graduate in the summers of 23. So incidentally, for all the viewers who are listening to this, I actually roped in. I just did a casual call to him yesterday evening saying that, sir, we have to do this because we have got students who are going to listen to us. And he was gracious enough to actually accept this. So all yours, Rishiji, if you have any questions which are coming up from the students, we can take a question or two. And then I can continue from there. And then for the paucity of time, we can say thanks to Joshua, sir, after that, sir.
Wonderful. It was wonderful watching you deliberating upon all the placement scenario and how the motivation given by you. It was really, really very insightful, sir. Thank you so much. And I can see many queries coming from Rahul is here, Ronit is there, Satish, Shobham Kumar Singh. Shobham, I see your query regarding the placement preparation. I'm giving you the rights. Please unmute yourself and talk to the experts directly. Shubham, are you there? Please unmute yourself, Shubham. Shubham Kumar Singh, yeah.
Sir, a friend of mine studied there. He was doing BTech.
Shubham,
Very
can you
feeble,
be
very
a bit more louder, please?
Yes, sir. Sir, a friend of mine was doing BTech from LPU. He told me that the college prepared students for aptitude tests and the interviews beforehand. So I wanted to know how they did that.
Don't worry. This is a question which I will answer. If you have any specific question for Joshua, sir, please do that because the next part of my deck talks about this.
So quickly before our external guest leaves, I would request all the attendees, if you have any query for Mr. Joshua, you can raise your hand through the interface. I'll be connecting you in a very short time. You can raise your hand through the interface. I can see Nafiz. Nafiz, I have given you the rights. Please unmute yourself and talk to Mr. Joshua. Nafiz. Please unmute yourself, Nafiz. I think I'm able to get him over here. Anybody who would like to interact with Sir, please raise your hand. I'll take up the queries. They little shy. Okay. I see the queries more applicable to Dr. Harpal Thetri ji. For the time being, I don't see any query coming directly for.
No worries, sir. I will echo sir's input only, and then I'll try and do justice to whatever questions we have. But then, Joshua, sir, thank you so much for taking out time from your schedule.
Sir, sorry for the interruption. I have Bhavna Sharma raising her hand. She wants to talk to Dr.
Yeah, Bhavna, please go ahead.
Bhavna, I have given you the rights. Please unmute yourself. Bhavna Sharma, yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, good evening. Good evening, Bhavna.
Sir, I wanna ask course about BPT, Bachelor of Physiotherapy, placements, internship. Yes, sir.
That again is a question to me. Don't worry. So I mean, we wanted to ask specific question to Joshua ji, but then all these questions I'm going to answer. Don't worry about that. But then I think, sir, due to the paucity of time, if at all there are some more questions, we'll write back to you, and then we'll look for your inputs towards that, so that we can to the students as well. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rishi, sir. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Hi. So my screen is now visible.
Yeah, perfectly visible.
Yes. So let me answer some of the queries which popped up last time. So let me tell you as to what your university or the university which you're going to choose has to bring forth to each one of you in terms of placements, in terms of roles, in terms of campuses, in terms of working along at tandem with the corporates, in terms of getting their courses embedded into our curriculum and all those kind of things. I hope that all of you can see these logos. So all these logos are basically logos with the companies with which we work. Let me tell you a staggering figure here. I'm gonna tell you 1,600 companies is what we work with year on year. Yes, you have heard it correct. 1,600 companies, which means that closely rough to about 4.5-5 companies every single day of the year. That is what we do. This is our logo. So this is the logo of the university, wherein we feel that each one of you, so we call our students to be as vertos. So the idea is that each one of you should carry the light of whatever we are teaching you here, and then go and be a change agent in your life. That is what we want from each one of you. So with this, let me go to this figures now. I hope these figures are now visible to you. So I talked about 1,600 plus recruiters. Most of them are are top-notch.
Sir, I think I can see the thanks screen for Mr. Joshua.
A minute. A minute. Now this is visible.
Yeah, it's now visible. Yeah.
Correct. So that is what I wanted to showcase to each one of you. So 1,600 plus companies. I mean, a staggering figure that is, and most of them are MNCs. They are top-notch companies. They find themselves in Fortune 500. They find themselves in Fortune 100. If you do not know what is Fortune 500, Fortune 100, then you should actually Google this, because this will give you a lot of faith. The second staggering figure, which I'm going to talk about, we have still not published that, but then since we were talking to you, I thought let me bring forth this in front of you. This figure, nobody in the country has achieved thus far. This is a very organic figure which we have achieved. We will tell you as to what company, what role it was. So the figure is a staggering 62.73 LPA. LPA would stand for lakhs per annum. 62 lakh 72,000 rupees per year is what the highest salary we have achieved this year. 110 recruiters roughly. They also go and recruit from the best of the institutes which were formed some 5, 6, 7 decades back. Most of the IITs, IIMs and NITs, they also recruit from LPU. Same packages, same roles, same kind of workforce where our voters are going to work along with the others. 1.6 lakh monthly stipend internship. Just imagine. So this was given by Uber. I hope all of you have used Uber in one way or the other. So 1.6 lakh rupees per month during internship. So understand what would have been their package. We've generated about 15,000 plus offers thus far. Companies who offered a dream CTC. A CTC would stand for a cost to company. So a dream CTC is anywhere beyond 7 lakh rupees. So about 500 plus companies have been offering these kind of staggering figures to our students. Yeah, so these are some more figures. So this is the admission block. So this is the admission block. If you can see my cursor, this is where we are sitting. So this is the placement block. 1,100 plus 50 plus students place at top corporates at day one. So day one is basically a joint drive where a lot of companies come in and then they do a drive and then they take the students for meaningful interventions into their respective companies. So this is an outstanding opening to last year's placement season. 739 offers were done by Cognizant, 428 by Capgemini, highest in the north part of the country by DXC of about 100 offers here. These are some of the figures which I want to share with each one of you. With engineering, the highest which you have achieved this year is 62.72 lakhs. For MCA, the computer application, the highest which we have achieved this is 31 lakh rupees. For management, it's about 21 lakh rupees, but then we are in process of breaking this as well. For engineering non-circuit branches, we have got up to 19.25 lakh rupees. For agri and food tech, the highest package of about 19.25. For fashion, interior, and multimedia, so our students do a lot of cross India kind of a workforce as well. They travel abroad as well, and the highest package is about 15 lakh rupees. And for all of the programs, the highest package which we have achieved this year is about 10 lakh rupees. Now, what does the industry wants from you? So industry wants a problem solver. This slide is a straight left from McKinsey and Company, which talks about you being curious, which talks about toleration of ambiguity and stay humble, which talks about take a 360 view of what is going to happen subsequently and then be a front runner so that you get the advantage there. Pursue your occurrent behavior, which means that you cannot be different at different platforms. Tap into collective intelligence, because you have to work in groups. So obviously you have to talk about working and being happy in groups. And if you have to be a leader, you'll have to show and tell, which means that this is what was given to me and this is what I have achieved, and talk about that, because people will listen to stories. Story has to be well curated, it has to be well thought of, it has to be well sold of as well. So that is what industry looks from folks like you. Now, to answer the question which was popped us in front a couple of minutes back, how do we prepare our students? As I just said, we call our students to be as vertos. This is what we do. So we start working the training and placement vertical. So we call ourselves to be as division of career services here, unlike any other place which is called to be as training and placement, because we feel that getting a job is not a big problem, but then making a meaning out of that job is where, and making a meaningful career for yourself is where the trick lies. So we call ourselves to be as division of career services. We are central division. So we work along with schools. We work along with finishing school. We've got a complete finishing school which start workings with you day one, which means that they do an analysis for you, so that they do a slot analysis with you. They identify the gaps, and then with a lot of inputs from people like Joshua, who are great friends and mentors, we do reverse integration for each of the student, because for us, all of you are important. Each one of you is important. So we identify the training needs for each one of you, which means that we do not do a vanilla training for everybody. We do training which is required for somebody who actually needs that. And then we also do a company specific input, which is basically a complete dress rehearsal of what will happen on the big day when the companies will actually come and work along with you. Long-term training also happens. So just to tell you of what we were discussing a couple of minutes back, the CSITC vertical is basically subdivided into 37 sub-verticals, collating to about 7 pillars, which means that IoT is a pillar, which means that data is a pillar, which means that cloud is a pillar, which means that IoT is a pillar. So we work along with each of the students and then actually make them industry ready. Joshua talked about the importance of learning the culture and the languages. I'll quote somebody in Hindi here, which talks about कि अगर मथुरा में रहना है तो राधे राधे कहना है, which means that if you have to go and work in foreign countries, you'll have to understand the culture. You'll have to understand that what is a do or what is a don't in their culture. So we train our students into all these languages as well. So we take you to the proficiency level as well. So most of our training, some of them are credited, some of them are non-credited. I'll talk about credit, non-credit subsequently. So our team basically talks about making you verbal ability ready, talks about making you analytical ready, talks about you making a good representation of what you are, because the best project which you will work in your lifetime is you yourself. Just talked about this foreign language team. So basically an amalgamation of everything put together is where we work with each one of you and then try and see that each one of you is more sellable. And that's the idea. So how do we do this? We do a lot of assessment right from day one. The moment you join any of the courses, we'll put through some assessment and then we'll try and see as to how good or how bad you are. So that nobody's bad, as I said. So the only thing is that we understand that you'll have to be trained a little bit more. So that's how we spend more time onto you. If you're already good at some traits, we'll actually space that in a way that we'll save some time and then we'll move ahead and teach something else to you. Some of the courses are integrated into your curriculum. They are called to be credited. Some of the courses are non-credited, which means that there are a lot of MOOCs which we tell you to do. There are a lot of certifications which we'll let you do, so that your resume becomes a really pakka resume. And once somebody comes in front of you for interviewing you, there is 100% chance of you actually cracking that. So we do a lot of mock drives. I talked about company-specific inputs. There is hardly a day where we do not do at least 10 activities in your university. So there are multiple clubs. There is a complete body which is called to be as a student affairs body, which does this clubs, which does multiple activities, so that we bring the holistic you. That is more critical. A lot of competitive events, hackathons. As I speak, there are multiple events happening today itself. Most of you will be working as campus ambassadors for maybe companies like a Microsoft or maybe a Adobe for that matter, or maybe a Capgemini, or maybe a Cisco for that matter. We do a lot of workshops wherein we get people, the resources from the corporate itself. A lot of guest lectures and webinars happens every day. These live projects. So we feel that each one of you should have an experience where you work on a live problem statement. So we actually try and work along at tandem with the corporate so that we can bring all these opportunities to you. A lot of industrial visits do happen, a lot of industry tie-ups, which means that there is hardly a course in your university where we have not done a tie-up with some of the industry leaders, Gartner leaders who have been there, done that across geographies, across businesses. A lot of co-branding courses. If you have to get a complete feel of it, do visit our homepage and see for yourself as to what all courses we have to do in terms of TCS or in terms of the Googles of the world or in terms of the Cisco's of the world and whatnot. We work with each one of you to make your portfolios, your CVs, because we feel that your CVs are your CVs. This is your story. So your story has to be very unique to what you bring into the table. And then we work along with each one of you to make a great social impact hand page. If you want to have a look of it, so you can look at some of your seniors who have done some courses with us earlier, or you can look at mine or Professor Rishi's or Joshua's LinkedIn profile so that you understand as to what is needed to be successful today. We work on digital portfolios of each one of you. We work with GitHub accounts, Weebly accounts, and whatnot. Now I'm giving you a glimpse of some of the big names which work along with us, all of them. So I could have not put all 1,600 plus companies. Yes, I put some names here, but then what I'm also doing is that I am giving you a link. So what you have to do is that all you have to do is come to my homepage, which is lpu.in, then click on the tab for placements. So this takes you to lpu.in/placements.php. See for yourself as to what we have done as an ecosystem for our students. And once you scroll through towards the end of it, there'll be a drop box. What I advise you is that you can put your course, whichever you want to do. Let's say that you want to do a physiotherapy, put physiotherapy there and see for yourself as to what all companies do come in, what all packages, what all roles, amalgamation of packages and roles, where your alums are working, what they are doing, which part of the world they are working, how happy or how unhappy they are. So all the stories are actually put up there. With this, since I have a admission counselor also to talk about, let me then invite each one of you to travel this journey of a carving niche for yourself, and then carving a great name for yourself, for your parents, for the alma mater as well, and for the entire ecosystem at India's largest single campus private university, which is Lovely Professional University. So with this, let me rest my case. If at all there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them and then see as to what we can do together. All yours, Professor.
Sir, I would request you to take a little break before we can have a few questions from the attendees. I would request Ms. Rachna to quickly, she needs to be really quickly go in for her part of the presentation. I've given the rights. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll just take hardly 5 to 7 minutes of our students. So a very good afternoon, good evening to all our students present here today with us. I hope you all are doing fine and safe at your home. So I'll be just quickly sharing the glimpse of the university which you will be joining most probably this year or in the coming years. So first up in the list, LPU creating history when 12 out of 13 LPU students won Olympic medals at Tokyo Olympics. Further, moving ahead with some of the rankings, we had some feathers. First in the list, we have the World University Rankings 2022, where LPU has been ranked 36th among top universities of India. Further, a proud moment of India when LPU made to the only 3 top Indian universities the impact rankings when LPU has been ranked 2nd in India, where only 3 Indian universities could make in the top 200 list globally. Next, we have the Atal ranking of institutions and innovation achievements, where LPU has been ranked 3rd in India. So now, moving ahead with the campus life and exposure offered, as a student, make sure that you enjoy your campus life. Gain as much as exposure you can. And if I talk about LPU students have got several opportunities to interact with Nobel laureates or be it participation in national or international level events. So let's give you a quick glimpse of few of the events which have been conducted at LPU. We had 106th Indian Science Congress with the focal theme Future India, Science and Technology, which was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji at LPU. Next up, we had a Nobel laureate Dalai Lama ji for 5th convocation at LPU. We also had former President of India, late Shri Pranab Mukherjee, for the convocation twice at LPU. Further moving ahead, we also had late Shri Arun Jaitley ji for inauguration of LPU Startup School, the entrepreneurs cell we have under Mittal School of Business. Some familiar faces, we had a motivational speaker and a life coach, Gaur Gopal Das ji. Let's move ahead with some of the heartthrobs. We had Shah Rukh Khan, we had Deepika Padukone for the promotion of Chennai Express. We had a Coke Studio in 2019 by Amit Trivedi and his team. We had MS Dhoni as well at campus. Further, moving ahead with the infrastructure of the university, you will be making several memories in these blocks, in these classrooms, in these laboratories, and learning several things out of the box. So let's take you inside these labs and classes. This is an inside view of our iMac lab. Moving ahead with the Google lab, an inside view of our 9-storied central library with approximately 20 lakh books. We had amphitheaters, 2 to 3 amphitheaters where several Nukkad Natak theaters, skits take place. An inside view of our Shanti Devi Mittal Indoor Auditorium with approximately 2,500 seating capacity, with being the largest in this region. My favorite place, our University Mall. Let's take you inside this University Mall. We had dining areas, dominoes, we had courier facilities, we had a bowling area for students' leisure time, we have a gymnasium, hospital facilities, ambulance facilities available 24 hours for our students inside the university campus. So now this is an outside view of our Shanti Devi Mittal Indoor Stadium, which has several sports facilities like a proper Olympic level swimming pool, 10 to 12 badminton courts, shooting area, a beautiful picture clicked by one of our students, and a mesmerizing night view of our campus. So quickly, I'll move ahead with another aspect of our today's interaction. To apply for admissions and to explore more about scholarships, you just have to simply visit our website, which is lpu.in, and on the top here you can see an icon of admissions. And here we have segregated all the programs as per your qualification. Let's say if you are about to qualify your 12th this year, so here are all the programs listed for you. You can just click here, and all the programs which are available after 12th will be available in front of you, be it related to engineering, computer application, agriculture, law, or design related, any program. So you can just click on that program, and accordingly you'll get to see all the specializations and the fee structure, the scholarship, and everything. Further, if you want to explore more about this scholarship, again you can click on admissions, and on the left side you can see an icon of scholarship. Just click on this icon and you'll get to see all the scholarships which are being offered at LPU. So here, first up in the list, we have scholarship on the basis of your last 2 qualification. Let's say if you want to take admission in bachelor's program, you will be eligible for scholarship on the basis of your 10th and your 12th marks. Further, we have scholarship on the basis of LPU NEST exam, which is our National Entrance and Scholarship Test. I would like to mention that this test is not only for eligibility, but it will act as a scholarship test as well. Because for majority of the programs, this test is compulsory to take admission in. So it will be a benefit for you. Further, we have scholarship on the basis of national level test. Let's say if you have appeared for a JEE or be it a NEET exam or GPAT or any other national level test you have appeared for, you can also avail scholarships on the basis of these tests. Further, we have scholarship on the basis of sports, cultural, R&D, co-curricular, social service, bravery awards, etc. Just make sure that you mail your certificates to us from last 2 years, your highest achievements, be it at national level or any participation or anything. You can note down our email ID, which is admissions@lpu.co.in. We have a panel who will verify your achievements, your certificates, and let you know in which category you are falling in for these scholarships. Further, we have special scholarship for our toppers of education board. Once your result has been declared, make sure that, and you fall in the merit list of that particular board, make sure that you share your mark sheets, your merit list information with us, so that we can let you know if you are falling under this category for scholarship. Besides this, we have financial aid, need-based scholarship, which covers scholarship for single girl child, for single mother, and several others. Financial aid for serving, retired defense, CAPF, paramilitary, personal and their dependents. We have financial aid to orphans, and we have financial aid to persons with certain disability. So you can just share this information with your near ones and relatives as well. Further, you can see this icon of predict your scholarship. You can yourself also predict your scholarship by just entering your information, your marks and other details. You'll get to know under which category specifically you're falling in. Besides this, if you have any queries, feel free to contact us. Here on the right side, we have our contact icons. We have the live video counseling option. You can get in touch with our counselors, the Zoom icon. Besides this, we have schedule a call option. We have our WhatsApp team. The number has been listed here. Besides this, right down here, we have our helpline numbers as well. You can get in touch with us. Last but not the least, I'll just quickly wind up with one more thing. We have already conducted several webinars in past, and we will keep conducting such webinars. Such webinars are open as well for our students. You can register yourself for the upcoming webinars. So just click on that icon, click on admissions. On the left side, you can see LPU's Edu-Webinar webinars. And once you click here, a new window opens. We can see we have listed all the upcoming webinars. So just let's say if you want to register for start your degree in LPU and finish overseas, which is on 29th April, click on register. A new window opens where you have to register yourself with your name, email ID, your phone number, and make sure that you click this dialog box to register, and you will be good to go. You will receive all the notifications related to this particular webinar. So over to you, Rishi sir. If I'm missing anything, please let me know. I've quickly just winded up majority of the things
Thank you so much, madam. It was really very quick and insightful. Thank you. Quickly, I'll be moving on to one or two queries that are coming up to me. I can see Puli Sai Teja. Puli Sai Teja, I'm giving you the rights. Please unmute yourself and put up your query to Dr. Harpal. And can we have you on screen, sir?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Puli Sai Teja, I have given you the rights. Please unmute yourself, my dear. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Tejaji. How are you?
Hi, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Could you please explain about the placements for program MCA? Because in placement that I'm only saying for UG students, but not for PG students like MCA course.
It's good that you brought this point in. Post-pandemic, now we are all confused. So let me answer this question with some figures. So people were confused as to what will happen, and people will get meaningful careers or not. But then I think you would have seen the growth which India has witnessed in last couple of years now, and I'm very happy to share here that we're able to increase exclusive drives in terms of MCA per se. Since you have asked MBA specific, so we are doing about 70-80 companies year on year. This year we were able to do about 150 companies. The highest package which we brought in was about 30 lakh rupees, which means that today even the companies are talking about MCA as a different workforce altogether. So for exciting times, it's all about putting the right effort and then getting that meaningful career which you are looking at. My average for MCA today stands about 6.57 lakh rupees, which is a staggering number.
Thank you, Dr. Harpal, for updating. And I move on to one last question before we sign off, is from Ishu Seni. Ishu, I have given you the rights, dear. You can just unmute yourself and talk to Dr. Teti. Ishu Seni.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, can you tell me about the off-campus placements in the third or the final year of graduation?
Why are we talking off campus? We'll do a lot of things on campus. No,
No, sir. Actually, I had contact with someone who told me that one of his friend had got off-campus placement from DRDO, and the university didn't allow off-campus placement at that time. So, is it such a?
It is not that. It is not that. We have got some policies which we document. The policies will be put forth to each one of you. You can actually do a deep dive into it. If at all you have peers who are working in companies, you actually give it to them as well. You can have it given to your parents as well. So the policies are well documented, and it's not that we do not work on the policies on from time to time basis. So we keep on updating these policies. Though we've got some kind of understanding as to what we want from our students and where we want our students to reach in their career. And we feel that we have seen a little more world than you. And if that is the case, so we feel that we are able enough to guide you. So have faith, and there is hardly anything which the university hasn't bought for its students and will not bring for its students. So to answer your question, there has never been such a case that if somebody has been picked up by DRDO and he or she would have not been allowed to do so. At least not in my understanding.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harpal, for taking up the query. And it's now time to sign off. I would like to say thanks to all my experts over here, especially Dr. Harpal for sparing time and taking up the queries and definitely giving an insightful presentation along with Mr. Joshua as well. So I would be formally thanking all the attendees also for attending this webinar. I want to thank you for your insightful presentation. Hopefully the attendees also found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information provided by the experts to help take a better decision regarding your admissions. I'm obliged and once again thankful to Dr. Harpal Theti, Mr. Joshua, and Ms. Rachna Bajaj for strengthening this platform. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. God bless. Stay excited. Looking forward to see you in campus soon.